Reading books can be the one of the worst thing you can do in your life, and why I'm going to prove it with science. So, and why you should listen to me, who I am to tell you all these things. So I'm a freelance digital marketer who had made around like $1,600 in my last 4 months of writing copy and doing my newsletter stuff. And I have read around like 60 plus books in my last 2 years of my entrepreneurship journey. So whatever I'm gonna tell, just stay till the end because you are gonna get a huge value and what exactly you should do to need to read a book and how you can get more from the book, not getting making it as a worthless. So let's get to the topic. You are probably thinking, wait, reading is useless? And the reason is you are reading the books all time wrong. People like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, look Belmar, or any top entrepreneur, they're addicted to book reading and they are doing something different which you don't know. And that's what exactly I will show you in this video. So this video will look like into the 4 part. First, this learning pyramid, how to actually read a book and how you can go further so you can remember a lot of things and can do the right things which you need to do. Second, what to do with that info. Then my personal system, how I use that. Then fourth, the common mistakes everyone make while reading a book. So first we have to see this pyramid. As you can see, the top of everything is the reading. So whatever you read, any book, anything in the world, you will only retain 10% of that book. Like if you're reading a 300 pages of a book, you will only remember 30 pages of worth of content. But when you listen a audio podcast or listen to music, you will remember the 20% of the things. It's the verbal receiving, as you can see here. Then the 30% looking at the pictures. Like you are, there is a story is going on in the audio podcast. Then you are seeing a picture after picture. It's like a YouTube video, not like a full animation and all this stuff. Just moving in the pictures. It's like a comic or a manga series. If you are reading a comic, that's like this. The 30%. Then watching a movie, looking at an exhibit like exhibition, then seeing it done on location. You're seeing something live. The visual receiving 50% of the retention and the memory you will have after getting through that experience. So I'm saying it because it will be what you actually need to do to make the book reading worthwhile, not the worthless. So participating in a discussion, giving a talk is a 70% of the retention. Whatever you read, you saw that, you see it visually, then in the 70%, you're discussing with the other people about that same topic. Then the 90%, doing a dramatic presentation of the whatever you learn, then simulating the real experience to going through the real experience of whatever you read, then doing in real thing, actually executing it. You will remember for the 90% of the things. And let me give an example. So I read a book called The Breakthrough Advertising. So I just read it. I did nothing. So I will only get the 10% of the thing. But I listened to a audio podcast of it. Then I use the YouTube thing to looking at pictures, how the book is and all the stuff. Then I participate in the Discord calls with other copywriters to know about marketing and copywriting from that book. Then I give a talk about it. So I remember 70% of the things from that book, especially. Then I'm presenting in the YouTube or to people, then the 90% of things. And actually applying the things I have learned from the book, like how to know your how to know your customer, how to do market research, market sophistication, market awareness level. Actually, I do research, I wrote sales page for me, my product, then I get the retention of 90%. I'm more worthful of reading that one book and executing in that way, in the functional way. If you go directly to this, all good. But if you go through the step by step, it will be so good. So the learning pyramid is done. So what to do when you started reading a book, once you're done, and when you are reading a book, whatever you read in that one day, make sure you are listening to the audio podcast while reading a book in 20% of things. After finishing all the book or finishing only one chapter, I will say finishing one chapter, go and looking at the picture or the animation stuff or in the YouTube explanation how that chapter is going on, then you will remember more. Then go and give a talk with your uh, entrepreneur's friend or any book you are reading. Just talk about it with something. You can also join my Discord channel where there's a lot of entrepreneurs, copywriters, marketers, any kind of people are here. So you can go and talk about anything, literally anything, any book you're reading. You can share your knowledge and you can remember the 70% of things, whatever you are learning. When you are doing that thing in real life, whatever you learn, that gives the better thing and the better attention you can have of the knowledge. And reading book is not worthless, because you can read thousands of books, you can read 10,000 books. If you didn't take any kind of action, and this 10% will be shrink to sometime 1 to 2%. So that's the point here. So my personal system, how it looks like. So I read books, especially. I don't listen to audio podcasts. I take notes after reading a book, the highlighting point, I make notes. Then second, I do watch a YouTube summary or breakdown, then discuss it with my Discord community members so I can remember the 70% of things, whatever I learned, then applying it immediately in my work, the 90%. Writing a newsletter or making a video like this to remember over the 90%. Execution of the knowledge, sharing the knowledge, feeding the knowledge. And you are more knowledgeable person in that particular thing, whatever you read. Best thing can ever you can do. And that's my personal system. And these are the three common mistakes whenever someone read books. That is, reading too many books without applying. If you started with one book, just try to finish it. Because I know some people who are reading 3 books a day, but they are so much experienced, they are having the habit of reading books. So that's why they can manage. If you are just starting out to reading book, you're gonna fuck up so hard because you never finished a single book till now. So first, give a one book, finish it, then go for another one. And mistake two is only and only reading. As I said, only reading will never get you anything. But if you give it discussion, then it's the best thing you can ever do because you have the like-minded people to talk on the things you know. When you discuss, when you argue, you got a lot of experience. You get a lot of more information from your opposition or from your friend. I will not say opposition, but the like-minded friend. It's better to argue about the topic you guys know, and you can get the right info, which is right actually, because every book is not unbiased. Some books are also biased just to make it the story. So get the both point of view of yours and get the actual truth. And the third mistake, never taking any actions. As I said and will say it again, you can read thousands of books, you can read 10,000 of books, but if you didn't take any single action, it didn't want to buy a book, buy a lot of books, or read a lot of books. It's fucked. Reading book isn't worthless, but reading it in the wrong way is worthless. And if you want to know how I read book faster, like I'm finished like 60 books in my last 2 years, and how much pages per day you can read and how to actually read, I already made a playlist on these topics. You can go and check out this and see you in the next one.